Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. So last time we met, we discussed about your brother's wedding and how there are some stressors in your life with school and like time management, but also with some family problems. But we don't have to get into that if you don't want to. But is there anything you would like to talk about today specifically?
Um, Specifically, I don't have anything. I guess we could talk about just going back to school scheduling and time management, like we mentioned before, and how just trying to organize my schedule, trying to fit in. Like now that we're planning for next semester, I want to make sure I'm taking the right classes. I am a little bit stressed about getting the practicum through. I know the professor told us don't panic or anything, but I still feel like I just want to get that practicum in there just so everything's together. But yeah, that's what we could start with.
Sure. So you mentioned getting into practicum is you would panic because of that. Can you explain more about that?
I would say more stressed. Just, I guess, just stressed because situations like organizing everything I just want everything to flow right. And that's, I guess, my problem with more than just school. I would say just keeping everything on a timely schedule. Because if not, if I feel like I don't have things organized in front of me, then that will cause distress to me. So I like having an organized schedule just to organize. Like I like to plan out for the week, but then I'll find myself going in my book like, okay, wait, what do I have to do here? What do I have to do there?
So you use a planner to write down all of your assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other way you plan out or schedule your time during the week?
I do use the planner. I guess just like I have a calendar at home in my room. I always like write down, like even though I write it down in my planner what I have to do, I find myself writing down what I have to do at home, my calendar, just like writing it twice. Like just for example, next Monday I have to take my dogs to get a haircut and plan that around school. And Monday and Tuesday mornings I'm not working, so those mornings I use to like plan in either extra time for homework, just try to fit the gym in. But and then for example, like appointments for dogs, but, simple things like that. I have to make sure I organize. But yeah, so I use the calendar and the planner really, and then just mental note taking.
Okay, how does planning things, events in your life make you feel?
Makes me feel good. Like when I have things planned out, I focus on, just making sure everything's together. Let's see. Right, so planning makes me feel good, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it. Okay. So going back to everything we just discussed about planning, and there's events in your life that you love writing down and you love staying organized. Let's go back to talking about school. So you talked about practicum, how it's a little stressful. What other stressors about school are there in your life?
In school, besides planning everything, I guess the tasks itself, the assignments, like now I'm seeing like papers that are due, even though it's the end of the semester, we only have like 6 to 7 classes left, so just trying to like think of an ethical dilemma case, and then my other class has a big 8 to 10 page paper. It's not so like, it's okay that it's 8 to 10 pages, but the fact that like I'm not unsure, so I'm unsure of like what I exactly have to do, and when I don't have that in front of me, it's like that's what causes stress. So like I'm sure about that, like just like how I am with the planning, like if things aren't, if I'm not sure of it, that's what can cause me stressors. But that's from school.
So when you say unsure, you're not with ease about it. Like you're stressed obviously, but
Yeah.
You're uncertain of how things are going to go for the rest of the semester.
Yeah.
Okay, how they're going to play out. what skills have you gained from this semester that can help you um, succeed throughout the rest of the semester with class?
I guess the skills, I mean, just skills of learning how to do the process of videoing and the reflecting and paraphrasing and things like that. I guess even though I know how to organize them, well, I think I do, but just I guess going through school again because I was off for a whole year. Now that I'm going through this process again, it's just I'm learning how to organize my things a little better with graduate school because now grad school is a whole different experience for me itself.
Tell me more about how it was to take a year off and then go back to grad school.
When I took a year off, it was more relaxing. Like I kind of just worked and just spent time with friends, family, and my boyfriend. So that was cool. I was able to do that and just like make money and just felt like more relaxed. So there wasn't like pressure on me to do this or that. I mean, just the normal pressures, I guess, of making money, paying bills, but that doesn't stress me out. But I guess the fact that now that I have school coming into play now, I have to fit school, which is now going to be like my first, second priority. And everything else that I did last year is now becoming a second to third priority, which is making that adjustment. Because, I mean, you think of it, I'm only in school for 8 weeks now, coming back after a year. And a year goes by fast, but you still got to get on that schedule.
So there was a big transition from kind of having leisure time, not being in school, and now being in school with all these stressors. What has helped get you back in the routine of school and helped you get to where you are now?
I guess things that have helped, I guess just going through the motions and the flow of things. I wouldn't point out one specific thing that would help me, but just going through the motions of everything and just figuring out day by day, week by week, that just helps me put everything into perspective with that. So that would be one of the things that helps. But other than that, I mean, just, I guess, going through it and figuring out things I have to do because there's unplanned events that come up. So it's kind of just like fit that in when I can, but school, just going through the motion of that helps.
You talk about unplanned events. Can you describe to me more about what that might be?
So I guess unplanned events is just like for example, when I got in that car accident, that was one thing. Now it's like for all insurance reasons, like I had some back pain from it. It was pretty crucial accident, just rear-ended accident. So my lower back hurts at times, and to go through the insurance with all that, you have to have like appointments for like chiropractor. People that are qualified to see you and like say, okay, yes, she does have issues going on. So then the insurance accepts all that, and I'm able to go further. They want me to go further to go to other doctors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already have enough going on with school. Like I don't want to have to go to orthopedic, like a neurologist. I think that's just a little too much. So I don't want to have to make all these appointments for things that I don't feel that are necessary. So right now it's just like, I'll go to the chiropractor once a week after work or something, just something quick, that's fine. But all these other unnecessary appointments, it's just, I don't need to do.
So going back to the car accident that we discussed from the previous meeting to now, how it's affecting you now, would you say it's overwhelming or would you say it's more stressful?
I guess more tedious things to do, just adding into the schedule. I wouldn't say, not stressful, because to me, stressful would be like something really bothering me, but it's just like I said, like tedious work, I guess, like just having to do more things than I need to. Like I want my focus on more important things versus like things like that don't seem as important to me.
So can you describe to me Or so can you tell me if there is any other tedious thing that's come up in your life?
I guess, schoolwork's a given to me. Like, not so hard wise, I guess, just tedious as in just like a lot of work. But, tedious, no. I cannot think of anything else right now besides schoolwork and then just like the appointments, just like extra work that I don't need to do, just those two things.
Okay, so to go back to your schedule with, I remember last session you talked about work and how it wasn't that hard and you like to work out
Right.
and you fit that into your schedule. How has work been with your busy schedule and everything?
It works fine because it's like a set thing, so it's like sometimes Wednesdays, but usually Thursday, Sunday I work, and then after those days I'll do homework, and then Monday and Tuesdays are left to do a little bit of homework, whatever extra, like some reading or something like that. But work's been, since it's like a consistent schedule and never really changes, it's fine. Something that I don't even have to worry about, honestly. It's just like, oh yeah. Just like sometimes it's early, like 6:30 a.m. shifts aren't the best, but everything else is cool. Like, it's just go to work, it's a consistent schedule. But school, since it's new, is like not consistent because it's like all these assignments I'm unsure of and not there yet. And just learning all these new skills can become a little taxing to me. But other than that, yeah, work's been fine.
So, what I'm hearing is you're talking about how you don't mind that work is a consistent schedule. You like that it's consistent and it's just you're in the rhythm of things.
Yeah.
But then there are unplanned events that happen in your life that are a little stressful, a little tedious sometimes.
Right.
How would you say you react to different situations that are planned versus unplanned?
So that's a good question. So unplanned events become, I find myself looking over the same thing, like, is this what I have to do? I'll try and plan for it ahead of time, but oh wait, well that doesn't make sense. So unplanned events, things that just come out of the blue is what you're saying. It's just like, oh, like if I have to do this and that, okay, how do I fit that into my schedule now? So that, I'm trying to find the right word for it. It wouldn't be stressful. It'd just be like, okay, I need to fit this in my schedule. So, but planned events, I would say it feels good since everything is like work. I guess work isn't a planned event, but it's something that's planned. Like, I already know that's what I'm doing. So I love the consistency. So I feel better about planned events versus unplanned.
Okay, great. So how would you apply how you react to planned events to unplanned events?
How I plan to react to them?
Yeah, let me rephrase. So you said it's easy to schedule, it's coming up,
Yes.
But with these unplanned events, they come out of nowhere, you can't plan it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
So your reaction to planned events are more calm, you're more relaxed, and then with these unplanned events, they're more stressful, it's a little overwhelming at times. So how could you kind of compare your reaction to planned events when there's an unplanned event? Like, how could you apply your reactions? Is there a way that you could, or?
So from finding the calmness and the consistency from planned events, how could I apply that to unplanned events? I guess just kind of telling myself it's okay to do these things, that, like, even though they're unplanned, like, I still can tell myself I'll figure this out. Like, I'll always find a way, but yet I find myself overthinking it like usual. But when it's playing, like applying that, I guess just telling myself it'll be okay, and I will figure it out. No need to get upset or stressed about it. That things just happen, and whatever it is, you'll just get it done. And then worst case scenario, it doesn't get done. I mean, it will be okay. So like I guess an event that happened recently. I wasn't close to my cousin, but like an unplanned event that happened was my cousin Anthony. He died from I believe overdose, and people knew in the family that he was not that he was overdosing, but he was dealing with some kind of drugs. And the situation with my mom's sister, her 3 children, they all kind of have some issues going on, and we all try to be there for Anthony for a little bit, but he just kept going down the wrong path, and that caused that was an unplanned event. He unfortunately passed away, and I wasn't as close to him, so I didn't I feel sad, and it hurt. Like it hurts more because my cousin that I'm very close with, that was her brother. So unplanned events like that, I just was like, I'm not close to him, but the situation sucks. I just feel more so sorry for my cousin. So that's one specific unplanned event that happened 2 days ago.
And I know you weren't close with him, but how did you react to hearing those news?
When I first heard it, I was like, well, my cousin Lindsay told me who I'm close with. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, her mother unfortunately passed away like 4 years ago because of ALS. I'm like, I was more worried about her going through more stress on her life, and it's already been a lot for her. So my reaction just was like, I hope she's okay, and I hope when she's sitting at home by herself, when her boyfriend's working, I hope, I just always have that in the back of my mind, I hope she's okay. So that was my reaction, was really just for her to be okay.
So going back to everything we discussed about unplanned events, I can see that you like that there's structure when there's structure in your life. Mm-hmm. And when there's uncertainty, it feels, like I said, like stressful and overwhelming, but how okay, let me rephrase it. Through all the things that happen, all the unplanned events, the car accident, having to go to all these doctor's appointments now, having the loss of your cousin, how have you been working through all of this? Because you like structure in your life. Like, how have all these events affected you?
I guess since, yes, I do like structure and organization, that is something I do like. I guess things, unplanned events and all those situations that come about, how I deal with them and cope with them, I kind of just, I don't have a deep emotion. I don't have a lot of feelings about it. I kind of just let it happen. And then if it goes wrong for some reason, if something goes down where I didn't want it to go, then that's when it becomes upsetting to me. But yeah, unstructured events and stuff like that, just not being for example, I guess right now, since it's on my mind, with school, certain things we have to do by the end of the semester, since I'm not 100% sure, I haven't looked into it yet, that's making me feel stressed. That would make me feel stressed because I have all these expectations by the end of the semester with all the professors. That's something I need to, I guess, get into. But I like to work within the week I'm in now. So if I look too far ahead, that's what's really going to stress me out. Like, I do not want to look too far. But yet, here I am saying I'm stressed because I'm not looking at these assignments. So I need to find like a happy medium of where, I can start looking at it, but don't overwhelm myself about it and deal with it.
So it seems like the events that happen, or assignments even, you get stressed when you're not in control of them, and like just like the unplanned events. Tell me more about how like you don't have any control over it. How does that play into effect?
I guess that's huge. Yeah, not having control of things ahead of me. Yeah, that's big, because that can lead into like, for example, with my boyfriend, he'll even tell me like, you don't have to control everything, and like, I don't even see myself doing that. I'm like, oh well, I just want to make sure everything's okay. Like, I want to make sure this. Like I feel like I know the way, so let's just go this way. And that control issue, yeah, that would definitely be something big right there. I see myself maybe with controlling things, yeah.
How do you work through that uncontrol? For example, with your boyfriend, how would you work through that?
I guess that's when arguments come about. Unfortunately, I guess when I'm trying to tell him, like, no, it's okay, like, just do this. And he said, no, like, this is, here you go again. You're trying to control something. And, like, it doesn't happen often. Like, we're not fighting about control a lot. But when it does, like, that's how those situations happen. Because I think of controlling things. But you're asking how I can deal with it, is what you're asking?
Yeah, like, what can you do, or how can you work through not being in control of something?
Gotcha. To work through situations that are out of my control, I would just say, like, I need to learn to step back, look at the situation. I don't need to control everything in every moment. Even though if it's a second nature to me, I need to just like learn to like calm it down. Let somebody else can do what I can do. That's okay. We don't need to, argue about something small like that. So I guess I would just have to take a step back and just let the other person just take the role sometimes, even though it can not kill me inside, but like bother me a little bit.
So it sounds like self-reflect and self-realization plays a huge part in not having control in things and how you work through them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just self-reflecting, that's huge itself. Just driving in the car here, I'm thinking of ways to like say what I want to say with my client in a counseling situation, and I was just opening the door and like get out of my car, and I'm just thinking to myself like, I'm realizing certain things about me, and it's just crazy. Like, when self-reflecting, you're able to open up another door you don't even know about. And in doing that, it's like you can just learn to appreciate and love things better than you ever could. And it's just a continuing path that you're able to do. So once one door opens and you realize one thing about yourself, more possibilities can be made.
So to go off of that, how could you apply that, like, one door closes, another one opens kind of mentality throughout your school experience? You touched base about it, like, as a school counselor, but in the present right now, how could you apply that to your academics?
So, when opening a door, I see more possibilities and accepting things and learning to take a step back. So when applying that to school, I would just say, hey, like, these assignments are coming up, like, you know what you got to do. You will get it done. Relax. Take a step back and realize that it will get done. And in doing that, everything will be okay. So that's what I would do with school. Just learn to take it easier on myself, because I find that I could take things harder on myself. So yeah, just take a step back and realize, be all right.
So you just mentioned that you could be hard on yourself sometimes in school, and maybe you set high expectations for yourself to accomplish goals and get good grades. So tell me more about those expectations.
Yeah, I do set high standards for myself, I guess because I want to not overthink and like be able to do things the right way it's supposed to be. I look at perfection like this is how it's supposed to be, so make sure you do it that way. And I would do a million laps to make it perfect, but then sometimes it don't even seem perfect to me, and that drives me nuts. But those high expectations for myself, I feel like, I'll set these high expectations, but nobody's like looking at the little minor details, like about like really small specific things that I will worry about like for days. So maybe sometimes these high expectations need to be like, okay, you know the assignment, you know what has to be done. Just do what has to be done. Don't worry about these higher expectations. I mean, it's good. That is good. There is positive to it because I'm here. I'm trying to do the best I can. But sometimes I just need to realize, like, hey, take it down a notch. Like, you have 99% of the assignment done. Like, don't waste 2 hours trying to do that 1%.
So to go back to the unplanned events and how you connect stress with that, and then connecting that with the high expectations you set for yourself, it sounds like there's kind of a connection between the unplanned events and not having control over them, and then your expectations that you set for yourself, and how you want to attain them, and how due to the expectations you set, the unplanned events are kind of a roadblock for you.
Yeah, it can become a roadblock because, all those things is just like, you're wasting time. You're not doing what you should be doing because you're over here thinking about these other 10 things you don't need to be thinking about. So, I can, in order to lessen these roadblocks by just like realizing, hey, your high expectations, like if you just take it down one notch, not saying I'm going to like completely let that go, but just taking it down one notch, that could lessen the roadblocks, and maybe I'll just be able to focus more and concentrate more on things and not waste that unnecessary time.
So to kind of sum everything up, so we discussed all the stressors in your life, planning little tasks like homework assignments, planning small events in your life, how you feel more easygoing and like relaxed with the planned events versus the unplanned events, and setting the high expectations for yourself, and just becoming stressed because of all these roadblocks, but like not seeing how you could have these goals attainable, but then also when you do have everything together and planned out, everything seems so well put together. Mm-hmm. So just to recap,
from everything you're saying, that's good because, it gives me a little bit of a realization, like, you'll be able to get these things done and just take your time. The roadblocks are there, which you mentioned, they are there. The high expectations, I do, whether it's from my appearance or just anything. Yeah, it's there, and I'll just have to take my time and just know, like, you don't have to be 100% every time because, that 100% it might not be needed, or you're just putting more on yourself. So, yeah, I would say that's it.
Great. Thanks.